Oh god. And so it begins. Oh no. So, today I decided I'm going to try and have a go at starting to fix Star Trek Armada 3 and update it insofar... Hey John. Update it insofar as I'm able to version 1.93. See, it's down there. There's a few of you who've noted that if you own the DLC, well, Star Trek Armada 3 doesn't work as intended anymore. So we did a lot of work last night on Ages of the Federation, and I've got a handle on some of the things that need to be changed. I'm not sure if I'll get all of them done today, but I'm certainly going to make a concerted efforts to try and do so. See, I've got a few things open here that should help with that. Now, this is going to be a fairly long process, and it might be boring for a lot of you, but I wanted to share the suffering. There are a few things that have already been fixed. You can see that we're already in the game. If I press single player, if I go to a random map and click on game options, you can see that Hobbs has very kindly shared his fixes with me for AOTF, so we can have rampant militias, minor factions, AI surrender. These are new buttons. Music's a bit loud? Okay. How's that? Well, I don't really mind the music being loud because, as I say, I think the music's more for me than for you today. So that's all fixed at the moment. I'm quite happy with that overall. But there's a lot more to do to make things work with 1.93. A lot of abilities are going to need changing. That's going to probably be the most time-consuming thing. But there are a bunch of other things that need changing as well. Just as an example, if I minimise this, I was taking a look at the gameplay constants. Now, the one on the left is the 1.93 version. What's up, Draconian? And the one on the right is the old 1.92 version. You can see some fairly elemental changes here. At the top, not really a problem there. Max AI cannons is a new thing that's been added. So that defines the maximum overall amount of AI cannons, which is quite nice. But down here is where things get really interesting. This is something I'm going to look at a little bit later. I'm not doing this now. These are quite interesting little entities here. Now, what you used to have for the Outlaw sectors data is used to have a maximum of 6 individual ship types. These are for the rampant militia, as you might want to call them. These are the ships that, if Outlaw sectors was turned on, they would walk into a sector randomly. Sometimes they were friends, sometimes they were enemies, and they would just genuinely cause a nuisance. So you could have a maximum of 6 ship types, and they were always the same ship type, always. Now this has changed fairly significantly in 1.93. As hopefully you can... Doesn't like it because I've pressed a button. No, stop. What this lot effectively means is that Outlaw spawn ship site match player race. So, if we've got a correct player race attached to a planet, meaning, say, Federation, for example, if you've taken a planet, any rampant militia that spawn at the planet, as long as you've got this passage in, is going to be Federation. The same goes for Klingon, Cardassian, Yakety, Schmackety. That's pretty interesting, which I quite like. Now, in addition to that, you can also set these up for the militia for the planet types. So what can happen is, just as an example, if I have Bajorans protecting a planet, only Bajoran ships will walk into the planet until another player takes it. That's pretty cool. Now, it's going to take me ages to do this segment, I imagine, but it's pretty good, I think, is the long and short of it. Now, scrolling down here, we have minor factions data. Now, I don't know what we're going to do when it comes to Star Trek Armada 3. When it comes to Star Trek Armada 3, we don't know what we're going to do quite yet, and that's going to be at least partially dependent on Caesar's Legion, who is he's working on updating Star Trek Armada 3 regardless. So I'll have some talks with him about what he wants to do with minor factions, whether we want to implement some of them, whether we can implement some of them with the modding power that we still have. Max and the other modelers are primarily focused on Ages of the Federation at this point, so the likelihood is there are going to be no new models for Star Trek Armada 3. So if we are to make minor factions, we'll have to utilise pre-existing models. That in and of itself isn't a huge problem. Well, of course you have issue with the mod. It sounds to me like you haven't got the latest version, my friend. Well, as I say, the reason, getting Dark Lord, yes. The reason Dark Lord that it's probably not working for you is because we haven't updated it to the latest version yet. Because there's a lot of work to do in order to update it to the latest. What does random ship weight mean? Now, what random ship weight would mean is what weight the game places. You mean this here? So what it would mean is it considers this ship more important than this ship. So what it'll do is it knows it can spawn X amount of ships with X amount of fleet points, as you can see here. There's no required ship count here. It knows it's allowed to spawn up to this many ships, and it considers the phase heavy the most important ship in this grouping. And that's basically what random ship weight is. We're not going to use this right yet. I'm going to go for some easy wins, which is probably a nice way to go about it. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here. Now, there's a few things that I noted. We've got a nice diff. Blair gave us this diff, which is really, really nice, between 1.92 and 1.3. So let's take a look at 1.92. I noted that there were a bunch of player files that need changing, so we'll do that in a bit. But I also noticed trade ships have changed a little bit, so let's open in here and then take a look at the difference with 193. We'll do those first, because that's an easy win. What is it I've gone for? Frigate side trade ship. Side. Okay. So this one's 193 and 192. Plugins, compare. Okay, so let's see what the differences here are. Only one thing, relationship change rate. So there we go. This is something that I can change in the mod. Let's bring this up. So what I'll now need to do is I will now, oopsie daisy, here's Star Trek Armada 3 Nemesis. We'll start with the port, because the closest. And what we want to do is find B. Is it going to be B trade or B frigate trade? Well, we'll find out in a moment. B freighter trade, there it is. Cargo as well. Cargo and trade are slightly different things. Cargo is, of course, the refinery ships. And we'll have a look and see if they do anything first. Now, we know over here that this needs to change. Let's get it done. Boom, that's changed. And we also know that down on line 32, directly underneath max mitigation, yes, mitigation. Right here, there is another change. Right down at the bottom, seems to be another change down there. Eyes. So there you go. That's this changed. It's done. We can save that. B freighter trade is now done. That was what I would describe as an easy win. But we're going to have to do that with anything. that is involved here. Now, one thing I should probably do is take a look at refinery ships. Hello, girl. How's your morning? Mine just started because I'm 6 hours behind you. Ah, morning was okay. I was up quite late, so I got up a little later than I usually do. Okay, so frigate site refinery ship. We're going to take a look at that. Let's get rid of these. It's the 193 version, and of course we need to look at the 2 version just to check. Frigate site refinery ship. Come on, where are you? There it is. And we will of course do the compare plugin. Okay, so pretty similar things. We also need the same with our cargo ships. Get her done. To cargo, let's change that. And these are the kind of things that you need to look out for and fix. There we go. Nice and easy. We can actually come out of there. But we need to do this with all the other races. Let's do it with Federation next. Hard to hear what you're saying over the music. Good selection. Oh, you want me to lower the music again? That'll be the second time. See, the music's really kind of here for me more than you. I'm not going to lie about it. The music's here to keep me sane while I try and do this. But I can always turn it up myself. My ears. F. Misk Antares is... Oh no, that's the Starbase one. Going to be called... F Trade Ship or something ridiculous like that. Unfortunately, we didn't have a very uniform... way of defining ships before. I'll find it in a minute. Eventually. I think it will be here somewhere. Ah, trade ship and cargo. Oh, that's not too bad, is it? Let's open this up. And once again do these copies. Now, the reason that I'm not actually doing a bulk change is because it might mess things up, and I'm really scared to do so. We have had a little bit of fun with that previously. Is the trade ship done? Now, you can do find and replace. That's something that you're allowed to do. But it's typically not something I would recommend. Okay, now onto the Klingons. Freight to trade and freight to cargo. But they are quite uniform. I'll take back what I said. No, I don't actually. The naming conventions we've used in Star Trek Armada 3 were a little bit all over the shop. How hard is it to mod Sin's code? Well, you're watching it. If you understand what I'm doing, then not is the answer. I think once you're used to it, it's relatively easy. I'm very, very out of practice. Very out of practice. So that's going to cause me no end of problems today. I used to be quite good at modding. I know that's probably tooting my own horn a little bit, but I think I used to be pretty good. Now I'm absolutely bloody horrific. So I think practice certainly makes perfect, and you're going to run into a lot of frustration early on in modding. just by virtue of the fact that there's a lot of things that aren't going to work right. You have to work through that frustration if you're going to become, I suppose, more accomplished at what you do. I'd say it's always worth learning, though. It certainly teaches you patience, if nothing else. Alright, there's the Cardassian ones done. We'll do the Romulan ones. Seems polite, doesn't it? Also, I think it teaches you to check and test. Well, there you go. Technically, there should be no impediments to modding, or at least coding. Modeling's a whole different kettle of fish, and I can't do that one done. Now, there might be some independent freight ships that I need to look at. Okay, right, so that's all of our base factions completed. I think we did Borg, we did Federation, we did Cardassians, we did Klingon, and we did Rob. Let's just type trade in here. See what we find. Those are abilities. Our base, trade stations, not a problem. What? Look up cargo as well. Cargo ship count, no problem. Okay, so I think that's all of the trade ships in game. However, one thing I will do is we have some generic stuff here. G colony, G cruise sphere, things like that. No, doesn't look like we've got a problem there. Let's click M, because we've also got some M for MISC. These are primarily abilities, but I think there are one or two ships in there as well. A lot of buffs. Capital ships. Fighter. M Freighter Antares. Knew it! I knew it! It's a good thing I can remember a little bit about this, isn't it? Huh. Good. Got M convoy freighter as well. Now I don't think these work in exactly the same way as normal freighters. Convoy production. Don't suspect that I need to change this one. Yeah, this one isn't anything that actually acts as a trade ship. Let's see what this one does. I think this one does. So, alright, that's all those trade ships done. I'd call that an easy win. You've got to take those easy wins where you can get them, right? That's one of a million things fixed. So now, I think what I'd like to do is... let's take a look at the player files and see what's changed there. And I suspect this is going to be very frustrating. Plugins, let's do the compare. Right, let's see what we have here. We've got player race type is now a thing. That's interesting, and it's something I'm going to have to work out. And this is now is Psi. What's up, Bernadette? How you going? Hard at work, girl. Nice to see how all your modders, how all modders put so much time and love into these mods. I mean, it's time, love, and a good amount of frustration as well. We're going to need to change a few things here from the looks of things. It looks like those don't actually affect anything. They're new researches that have been given to the tech. But down here, these new game event sounds, they need to be put in. From the looks of things, anything down here that's important? Just some window screen size changes. I don't think we need to mess with those, which I'm pleased about. Alright, I suppose we should get going, shouldn't we? So, let's go to our files and click on player. Oh Lord. Well, there's a couple of those. Oh my. Well, one by one, I suppose. Once they're done, right? Those bits are the easy bits. Now what I need to do is I need to come down here. Which honestly we can actually get rid of. Okay, so this is directly underneath use ability unmet constraint has ability with cooldown. Find that here. No, they're not even gonna have the same line numbers because they've got different amounts of research. What we can do, however, is we could do a little search. Take this. From here, go Control F. Find it. So it's right there. Any more? No, good. And then I take this segment, copy it, paste directly underneath, like so. And we'll copy the VO over. The next one that we know, the next one is directly underneath this. Find next. There it is. Rather beautifully highlighted in green, which allows us to do that very easily. Okay, so the next one is this. Next, there it is. This is the one we need to copy. More of a minor inconvenience than an actual threat, most minor factions. Well, that's precisely what they're supposed to be. There you go. Grab the unable to comply noise. And this should be the last one for the Romulans. I've got loads more of these to do, sadly. It's not the last one. I lied to you. Sorry, folks. Friendly gravity well. Yeah, I've already done that bit. Pop that there. And grab the enable to comply, stick that there. I don't really know if we're going to be using these sounds in game. But I always think it's good practice if you like to change the things on the fly as you need to. That goes there. That enable to comply as well. Player Romulan completed. Now for all the others. Play Klingon. So let's move that out of the way. Right up to the top. Get those easy wins first. Wonder if I could end up making the Mirror Sovereign a capturable ship by watching you work this out. Well, what you'd probably have to do is you'd have to change one of the abilities on one of your ships to allow for it to be capturable. At present, none of the abilities that we have allow capital ships to be captured. Leave. Move down here. And we're basically going to have to copy the entire process over and over again. It's a frustrating truism of modding that it's more patience than it is talent. Hang on, we need to do that here. There we go. And that's why I wanted to stream this, to show you that modding's not all love kittens and models. Because it's quite the opposite much of the time. Now, in an ideal world, it would all be love kittens and models. We don't live in that world. Now, if anybody notes me making an error here, which is eminently plausible, do let me know. Because I would very much appreciate that. I'm probably going to make errors during the course of the day, and I'm going to find it massively frustrating when I highlight those errors to myself. When those errors are highlighted to me. Alright, that's the Klingons done. 20 million to go. I mean, realistically, these players down here, Bajoran, Breen, Ferengi, etc., don't necessarily need this, but I think for the sake of completionism, it might be wise for us to do it. That segment done. And then once again, we practically have to read the entire process all over again. Which is nice. Well, I don't think modding's all that difficult. I really don't. As I say, it's not necessarily an ease thing, it's a patience thing. But we're going to get through it. Because you guys need some working SDA3. Otherwise you'll never forgive me. And much of our team, not all of it of course, but the vast majority of our team is primarily now working on AOTF, as you can imagine. So there's a little bit less in the way of modding power within the STA3 old guard than they used to be. Primarily, I suspect, going to be myself and Caesar making these upgrades, changes and fixes. But Max has been remarkably helpful in the regard that he's basically shown me how to make a lot of these fixes. He did so yesterday to AOTF, so that's huge for me, because I wouldn't have been sure how to do most of this had Max not got involved yesterday and showed off his screen to me and said, okay, this is what you want to do here, this is what you want to do here. So he's been great. Very, very lucky to have been part of that stream yesterday. Seems in regards to coding, it's not as daunting as it appears from the outside, just time consuming. You should make sure everything is done right. Forget one character and it doesn't work. That's right, yeah. Scroll them down. There it is. Alright, changing these player files isn't actually taking as long as I expected it to. Which is kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. I expect I'll be done with this in 10 or 15 minutes. Which is, I suppose, not bad going for a fundamental fix. There's loads more that need doing, admittedly. What's the difference between Star Trek Armada 3 and AOTF? They're fundamentally quite different. What I would probably recommend that you have a go at doing is taking a look at Star Trek Armada 3, what it is, what time period it's in, the way that we deal with the ships, etc. And then taking a look at any of the streams that we have up of Ages of the Federation. Not like coding because my teacher wasn't very good. I'm thinking about getting online lessons. Well, I think it's worthwhile doing. As I say, if nothing else, it teaches you patience. And I think one thing that we perhaps, as a society, don't teach very well, particularly in the West, is patience. We're just not very good at it. God damn. Oh, I did bad there. Added a letter unnecessarily. Play a Borg. I think the minor factions will be great with Ages of the Federation, and having more minor empires in the Enterprise era than after the Federation started consolidating a lot of smaller empires together. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of scope, a lot of potential for the AOTF, particularly AOTF 1, I suspect. Oh, mistake. There we are. No, I do genuinely think there's a lot of scope for cool things in AOTF, and it's certainly something that the team have been discussing with some enjoyment. We're quite happy with this new update and the possibilities that it generates. surprised that wasn't there before, to be honest. No, I don't. I have to keep concentrating, otherwise I'm going to forget where I'm up to. I know my limitations, which are many and prodigious. After we've changed the player files, what we will do is we will do a very brief test to make sure that the changes that I have made are correct. What is a bad idea to do in modding is to not test your changes on a fairly regular basis. The potential is there for an AOTF2. We can't guarantee that we're going to do it because modding is, of course, based on what we want to do, I suppose. We've discussed AOTF2 for the TMP era, as it's a movie period, if you like. Can't change my name. Right, there we go. Borg done. Player unknown. Player unknown. Gem Battlegrounds, though. Right, back to the top. Jeez. Yeah. It's also quite useful to know the shortcuts, if you like. Most people do know them, but you know, Control C, Control V, stuff like that. Because imagine if you didn't know them and you were trying to do things with edit, copy, edit, paste. That would be utterly horrific. Now I know that most of this still says common. Oh, it's because it's player unknown. So actually, that's going to be quicker. Yay! Nice. Nice. I like it a lot. I like not having to do things. So that should be. Yep, that's done. Player unknown. The battlegrounds are complete. Let's take a look at the Mad Borg. Mad Borg! Not just Borg. Oh no. Oh god, I got a lot of fixing to do. Yeah. This isn't even the half of it, my friend. As I say, feel free to talk to me about it later on today if you choose to. Depending on when I get finished with this horrific lot. There's a lot. And a lot that I haven't touched on yet. This is these are the basic fixes that are easy for me to implement, and that's kind of why I'm doing them first. Because I'd rather make a bunch of basic changes that aren't going to cause me too much difficulty. But I will send you a couple of bits and bobs later on today, Viking, which I suspect will help you a great deal, because it will allow you to do some compared diff. I've got a file here that we were very kindly given by Blair, which lists some of the changes between 1.92 and 1.93, and that's basically allowed us to get a little bit of a head start in making the changes that are needed. I imagine it's quite unusual for you guys to see me quite so... Is calm the word? Maybe calm's the word. I don't know. I sometimes think I've got an entirely different personality when I'm modding to when I'm doing anything else. I think modding requires a certain level of stability, which when I'm gaming, I'm not necessarily quite as relaxed. I've set me a file for the particles, which I needed. It's not particles that I'll be looking at. I'm not going to be looking at particles at all. But what we've got here is a data source 192, data source 193, and it contains all the files that have been changed between the versions. So I'll send you that later on today, and it'll allow you to do a compare and contrast as to what files are likely to need changing. So that should be relatively helpful, I suspect. It's not going to change the amount of effort that you're going to need to put in, unfortunately. I wish it did. I like that a lot. You do sound more zen. Yeah, I suppose I do. I think modding just requires a different mindset. You can't go in with excitement because you'll burn out. You've got to go in with a kind of slightly more methodical standpoint, perhaps. Because what I'm doing is essentially really boring. And if you've got the kind of mindset that demands interesting stuff, then you're gonna have a hard time. I was very much in two minds about streaming this, but I thought I don't want to do this by myself. Because for the exact reason that it's very boring, I'd rather be talking to you guys. At least it gives me a chance to interact with the chat while I do it. And I'm hoping that a few people come along that kind of... hopefully it's going to be those few angry people. Why isn't the mod updated yet? What the hell are you doing, you absolute bastards? Hopefully this will explain why a mod isn't always updated within 5 minutes. Right, so that is done. Don't need to concern ourselves with these. We've got all these players down here. Now, technically, I don't need to do all these. But I think in the interest of completion, I'm going to. By virtue of the fact that I'd rather things be uniform. If they're not uniform, then it could potentially cause problems down the line if we do make use of these in any real way. We find that most people typically are relatively relaxed about the whole modding thing, but some of them get very frustrated. Whoa, I did a bad there. better. Once again, luckily for me, there are certain things I don't have to change in this little segment, which is just lovely. That means I can kind of say fly through this bit, well, we're definitely not flying. By the way, if I am talking too quietly, do let me know. As I say, I think my whole tone and timbre is very different when I do modding, so if you are finding that I'm too quiet, I can move the mic closer to my face. But if you've heard, we've got some new assistance from other modders, Set and Sundered. Oh, that's very useful. Yeah, Sundered's helping us out as well. He's been very, very good. Very, very good. He's an excellent modder, really is. And I think he's got the kind of passion that we had about 5 years ago now, which I find endlessly useful because he's really got a drive to make things go. Whereas I think perhaps those of us who've been modding for years, we're a little bit more laissez-faire with it. At least I am. Don't want to speak for you. And one thing that I'm kind of broadly speaking aware of is I could actually just take all of this. I'll do that for the next one. I'll do that for the next one, because I'm shooting myself in the foot here and I'm taking longer than I need to. Changing all of these by hand isn't something I need to be doing right now. If anybody does have any questions or other commentary that they want to share, please feel free. I will try and answer any questions I can. Now, that's the player Thulian done. Tamarian, isn't it? Now what I might try and do with this one is go to Game Event Sounds, go to the top here. I believe it's Game Event Sounds where these changes begin. Yep, very much so. I'm going to grab all of these Game Event Sounds. Ooh, going to go too far. Go. Grab all of these, like so. Control C, and then over at Temerian, what I may be able to do is I might simply for me I'm going to be able to do that. If I just grab all of the game event sounds here, we can simply replace that segment. Sound. Mission discovered is the bottom one. Mission discovered is the bottom one. The top one. Test, check, and test. By broken. Top one. Ceasefire broken. Let's save it. Now. Yes, I know you're not going to like any of that. I know. let's kill the process. Open that up and see if I've caused any problems. There are going to be a load of errors on game start, which are something I'm going to need to go through later on. Abilities have changed a little bit and the way that they work, so these particular things. Now, I have a way that I'm going to be searching for and just trying to kill all those errors, but we'll skip all for the time being. Okay, so right now, it appears to be working, which is good. But a good way for us to check that is to go for CTA random, medium, large. Yep, doesn't matter what players, and start the match and see what kind of errors that we get. What's up, Bacon Commander? How you going? Alright, Jordan, you have a good day, my man. No, surprisingly, I'm not getting mad at the moment. This is an expected error. So what this specifically is it's telling me that a human player can't see that. That's fine, we expect that error. We wouldn't call them the Undying, we would call them Species 8472. Undying is a STO terminology, which we don't necessarily agree with. Good thing with DLC is it allows minor factions such as Disconnected Borg from Unimatrix Zero. Maybe. Species 8472 as well as Maquis, maybe in Bajorans. Yes, potentially. As long as there's some kind of application. Okay, so the game appears to be working. But one of the things that we should probably check is if we... Oh, well, that doesn't work. There's a problem right there. Right, crash on startup. That's always good. Yes, we know it's broken. Oh, we better do that again and see what killed it. It all seemed like it was working so well, didn't it? But fortunately for us, using the Process Explorer, we're going to be able to see what killed it. Why? You can see here, if I hover over here, it's doing the opening cinematic at the moment. How nice. Yeah, this is precisely why we test. Let's go for... And as I say, by Process Explorer. Apparently the music is loading. That's concerning. Why are you loading music? Have you bored? What? Currently loading some meshes in. Command mesh, Harpy assimilated. And if it crashes again, fingers crossed, I'm going to be able to work out what. Just loading a few meshes. Okay. Things all seem well there. Maybe it was a specific issue with that map. Now, a nice thing I tend to try and like to do is I've got all entities detected. Change the game to 8 speed for a while.
We are yours to command.
Just 14. I haven't got all the player types, but... By the way, I particularly like this map. Look at that. So what should happen is, if there are any errors, they'll pop up on the left-hand side. And if not, if there is a straight crash to...
Pirate raiders detected.
Oh, look, it's my voice. If it doesn't do it, then we'll be able to use Process Explorer and hover over what's loading right now and what's caused this problem to find what the final straw was. At least that's the intent. Okay, we've been... this autosave 3 would indicate that we've been going for 45 minutes now in-game. Not a lot happening because the...
Pirate raiders detected.
Trapezoid Barney down here. Yep, that all appears to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Good. Alright, so that was a rando crash. Don't know what happened. But that theoretically suggests that I've done this right. I want to do one more test. Let's do a random vast, see what we find. Fix you later. There's actually loads of you watching. I'm quite surprised. Thank you for joining me in the suffering. Let's go for large maps. And there's a vast hiding here somewhere. CTA random vast. Right, let's see what crashes. Because this is the map type with the most diversity, it's the most likely to crash on load. Don't worry, I've got a coffee. Alarm, we're okay. Quickly check Discord. All is well so far. Because I'm hoping that Caesar might join me a little bit later. He too can share in the suffering. That's a problem. Save that. And we'll pop it in the internal Armada 3 chat. If I skip this, yeah. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. but I wouldn't be surprised in the least. Crashed on startup. What are you doing up there? Ah, there it is. Okay, what was it? What were you doing? Not gonna bleed and tell me, is it? I don't think it is going to tell me. Which faction would you say is the best economically? Probably the Federation. It hasn't specifically told me why it wanted to break. Which is a shame. I was really hoping it would. But I suspect that the error is to do with the Galaxy Scenario Define. Which means I'm going to have a look for that particular error that I pasted a moment ago. A little later. Don't need to do it right now. Fine. Okay, so it wasn't Player Tamarian at least. Which means that one works. That's the good news. Keep doing what we were doing. Time for the Talarians. Oy. As long as I can satisfactorily say that it's not changes that I've made that are causing any crashes, it's fine. It looks like there was a old crash. Which we never got sorted. Oh, too far. I can't blame Hobbs. Hobbs never worked on Star Trek Armada 3. As much as I'd like to. Joel, do you work with the makers of sins? I have to ask. No. love to. But no, I don't work directly. However, Blair, who is the CEO of Ironclad, is an incredibly helpful individual. He's always been a great friend to the modding community, so typically we can directly ask him questions and he will try and answer them if he's able to. And that's very rare for somebody in his position. It's a wonderful thing. We're very lucky to have a CEO, if you like, that is also a coder, and as a result, I think he understands the frustrations that can go into doing this kind of work. Why am I fiddling here? Let's grab this. Go down. Whoop. Go too far again, as we always do. Stardock seems like great people. Yeah, by and large, I'm sure they are. I mean, they're a relatively, like both companies, like both Ironclad and Stardock, they're both relatively small companies in the great scheme of things. They're not. They're not giants in the same way that perhaps EA might be. How many more of these have we got to go? I don't know. Like, people kind of wax lyrical about how friendly Bethesda are to the modding community, and in my opinion, they haven't got a patch on Ironclad. Ironclad / Stardock, they are better to their modding communities, and they're also more supportive of their works. Also, they don't try and sell modders' work, which is kind of nice. Just saying. There are simple things that you can do in order to check how supportive they are. If you go to your Steam profile, you go to Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, you click the play button, and look, Star Wars Ascendancy, Mod Spotlight, Game Modding. Right here in the startup menu of Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, you can see that they're highlighting mods. Go to Ashes, Modder's Guide, Game Modding. We go to Gal Civ. Oh, we haven't actually got anything there. But they're so very friendly. Discord groups, they're just fantastic. I suspect I said game modding, Vazel. Not just your ears that are funny, my man. Sausages, did I do this one? We can check that. If I go here. Yes, I did. Okay, Raquel's done. You go. Oh, Raquel might not be done. Check and test. Oh, they are done. Pirate. Is there anything special in playing pirate? Pirate technically classed as other, which concerns me. So player pirate, let's bang. Grab this. Bang it in there. Oh, Caesar's actually just messaged me. Let's on the action. Hey, I'm up. I've had toast and coffee. I'm happy to join you.
Surprise.
Morning, buddy. How are you doing?
Hello. Okay, thanks. How are you?
Oh, you're turned all the way up. Turn me up.
Am I quiet?
No, I got my headset turned down a little bit because I've got music on.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm in one of those kind of in-betweeny stages because I'm doing stuff that I need to concentrate, so I can't have the music blasting too loud.
That's understandable.
You know, like when you're in the car and you're trying to work out where you need to go, and in spite of the fact the GPS is telling you exactly where you need to go, you turn the radio down.
That is literally my mum.
That I do that all the time. When I'm confused about where I am, I turn the radio down as if that'll somehow help me. But yeah, we're
Excellent.
I'm actually streaming this at the moment, but
Yep, I've got it up. I'm watching.
I'm going through some of the player files at the moment. There is an interesting crash that sometimes occurs on Match Startup. I think it might have to do with the GSD, and I think it's to do with the Husnock.
Right. What you posted in the
Yes, yeah, that's
the
it's something for me to have a look at later.
Okay.
Because I want to do some of the other fundamental things that I'm in the middle of doing, and if I don't do it all at once.
That's fair enough. So these player entities, are they the militia?
The ones that I'm currently working on, yes.
Right.
Well, they're the ones that could be the militia, but they also tie in to the. Oh no, that is militia. Yes, I'm doing them because I suspect that they tie in some way to the rampant militia.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And also, I like uniformity.
That's perfectly understandable.
I figure if I'm going to do one player file, I should probably do them all.
It's understandable.
So, how are you today?
Quite well, actually. Yeah. Reasonably good mood, I suppose.
What's that like?
Strange. It's a unique feeling.
I've never tried being in a good mood.
It's a difficult sort of state of mind to achieve. I can understand it. I hadn't intentionally chosen it, just kind of woke up like,
I think I was probably in a good mood a couple of times
okay.
back when I was a student.
Yeah, fair enough.
I had a good mood once.
Was it after you submitted an essay or something?
Not
Or is
exactly.
that just relief?
Not exactly.
Something else.
Yes, I submitted something.
Aha. To someone.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh dear.
Orion. Player neutral, of course. Why not? I think we have a lot of player files that we don't need. I really genuinely do. I don't know what your thought is on that.
I feel like some of them might just be TFF.
I
files.
think many of them might actually be redundant to us. But I'll do them all regardless. So where we're up to is we fixed the trade chips because there were some changes in those defines.
Okay.
We've got the menus sorted bit. We are just doing the player files. Once I've done the player files, I need to look at the Galaxy Scenario Def, which as we can do together, if that's reasonable.
That's fair enough. I can't necessarily say I will know
I
what
don't
I'm
mean
doing,
Galaxy
but I
Scenario
can.
Def. I mean gameplay constants.
Okay.
luckily for me, I'm kind of in the quick bit of doing it, which is nice.
Hooray.
Because we don't need to give them sounds. Because nobody will ever
It's
play as
helpful.
them. So I can just copy the entire game event sound data folder rather than individually putting new files in.
That's,
Or new lines in, I should say.
if it makes it nice and quick and easy, it makes it nice and quick and easy.
It's significantly better. Gull, is there a plan to add minor factions to Star Trek Armada 3? Oh, that's something I need to discuss with... Luckily, he's here.
Yeah. Hello.
Is it something?
Convenient.
Is it something that you would like to do, Caesar?
To be honest, not really. When it comes to what Nemesis is for, a streamlined Armada 3 player v player or player versus AI game, minor factions are not really something that's necessary. Now, that being said, TFF, which is the previous pre-Nemesis build, and was designed with the intention of expanding upon the Star Trek universe to make it more in-depth, to make it more immersive. That's where I think minor factions would be good. That being said, since TFF is largely Amberenia's project, and as we know, Amberenia is not always around.
He's a busy
Whether or
bee.
not he is indeed, whether or not we will see minor factions added to that is something we'll find out in the future. I wouldn't mind having them added into TFF, but I don't think they're necessary in the Nemesis build.
I can appreciate that. I mean, I've already said that the likelihood of, if they are included, the likelihood of getting new models is virtually zero.
Yeah,
Because Max will be like, fuck off! And that'll be that.
pretty much.
I think I captured
Back
him
to
there.
AOTF mines. Yeah, pretty much.
So if we were to add minor factions, we would have to use pre-existing. It may be something I'll consider looking into at some point and doing a little add-on. I don't know. It's dependent on me getting good at modding again, and I'm very, very bad at modding now. Because you let something go like this for a while, and you really do forget so much of what you used to take for granted that you knew.
Yeah, and when it comes back around to actually trying to do it, you think, oh god, how do I do this again?
Just looking at the code at the moment, I'm thinking sausages. Oh no, this is not good.
Spend half an hour wondering, what the hell have I got to do?
Who am I? I don't know. Watch out, I'm fucking nuts.
Where is this got to go? Ah!
I've got 2, perhaps 3 more. 3. And then I can do a very quick test to the changes, and then hopefully I can push.
Hooray. So I expect the gameplay constant stuff is Outlaws?
Yeah, primarily.
Yeah. Wonderful. I think that is one of the better changes that is with the new
yeah.
version.
The fact that we're going to be able to define by player
Yeah.
is
Not,
lovely.
not everyone having Orions. As happy as Orion is with having everyone have Orion vessels, nice not having just Orion. And even in the base game, it's nice not only having TEC forces.
Yes, indeed. Just the Breen and finally the scum to do. I mean, Bajoran.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
And then, as I say, I'll drop a super duper quick test. And I'll push those changes, and then we can start having a look at other things. Might want to make a new cup of coffee soon as well.
Yeah. Get that caffeine fix.
God knows. God knows. Luckily the music's good today. So I'm quite happy, just bobbing my head along, having a nice relax. Right. Just confirm that there are no differences. No, okay. Oh, please don't have broken anything fundamental. Girl, you're a colourful fellow. Well, thank you. I think. Yes, yes. I felt like the graphics were crisper in the latest Sins update as well. I really did. But Martin Luther, probably not the one you're thinking of, is talking in the chat. Let's try Q's judgment, shall we?
Q is always judging.
He is. Silly question. What's that nav bar on the right-hand side of your Notepad++? That is when I'm doing compare diff, Bruce. You know that application that you use, Bruce. You've got to compare the difference application that you basically punch everything into a thing. This is a manual compare diff. So what I've got reference files here to 192 and 193, so I can compare the difference between the two. I'm using those as a benchmark to change the folders in STA3. So these are the files that anything highlighted in red here. Doop, doop, doop. Not important, not important. Those, Bruce, are the files that have been added to this particular file, or sorry, the lines that have been added to this particular file. And it's quite useful. Beyond compare. Oh god, camera twist is on.
Suddenly upside down. Oh no!
Well, that seems successful.
We are yours to command.
How nice! Okay. I can push that.
Excellent.
So let's get that done now. Let's go to get sync. There we go, pushing as we speak. It's going to ask me for my password. I love Kira's mum 6969. That isn't my password, guys. There you go. Pushed.
Dear. Wonderful. Shall go and pull.
Okay. Right, for my next trick. Okay, so let's get rid of these. We can actually get rid of the find as well for the moment. I'm going to go into the 192 source folder, go game info, go gameplay constants, open outside. We're going to do the same with 193. And we'll go plugins, compare. Do you want me to share my screen with you directly so you can?
Oh yeah, you can. So I assume on the right you've got
This is the old, the new is on the left.
so 0.92 and 0.93.
0.92 on the right, 0.93 on the left.
So not base game 92 or STA 3.92?
This is both base game.
Okay.
Because what I'm doing is I'm retrofitting STA3 using the changes to the base file in order to foment my understanding.
Yeah, of what's changed and how it's changed.
I mean, max AI cannons, it doesn't actually matter to us, but we'll have to put it in and just put 0.
Okay.
So that's a new addition, which is nice.
Max AI cannons, I assume that refers to super weapons.
It does, and that's immaterial to us. You've also got
Since
these
we don't have the
changes
super
to any.
weapons.
Yeah, that's right. Any new files change, they now change to text to Sins Archive Validation 193. Don't know why.
Yep.
Possibly to try and ensure that things work. These don't matter because we've got our own versions.
Yep.
But down here is where it starts getting a little bit funky dunky. So this is the old one, and it gives you those 6 standard ship types. A lot of stuff to remove there. But over here, so Outlaw spawn ships type, match player race. Race entity name kind of doesn't matter so much, I don't think. But effectively what we can do with this is we can create as many of these as we want to match either the militia or the players.
Okay.
And we input the varying different ships that they have.
Yeah, along with their weightings, max fleet, min-max fleet points.
That's right, so that's probably something that we should try and work on together if at all possible.
That's fine.
And then there is another segment underneath here, and that deals with minor faction data.
Okay. So the minor faction data, would that be something we need at the moment?
It's
'Cause
something
we're
that we've
not
got to
going
put
be
in.
adding anything. Okay.
But what we'll effectively do is we'll grab all this bit. Minor faction player def count 0.
Yeah, so it'll be there in case we want to add it.
Yeah,
but not in use
it'll
currently.
be there out of necessity. Otherwise, the game will be
We'll cry.
a bit of a whinge.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's
Okay.
Now, I expect lots of crashing here, so there's going to be some frustration. I'm not even going to falsify that. What we can also perhaps do is we can look at the way Max did it in AOTF. That might be useful, mightn't it? That's Galaxy Forge. We don't want that. Let's take a look at AOTF's version. Gameplay constants? It's just called gameplay now.
Apparently.
No, it's changed into the full one. So it's this is the AOTF one. Let's see what max. Oh, it's Pirate Raid. Here we are. Player UFP. The race entity name. Match player race. And he's put Fed Cruisers in there to spawn in. Player Clee. Also can frigate, pirate frigate. Not sure why he's chosen to do it that way, but fair enough. I think that was just a quick fix. But you can kind of see the way he's done it, can't you?
Yeah.
Squiggly Booble isn't wild, he's tame.
Anyhow, so I think what I want to do is I want to grab all this. Nope, I don't care about that bit yet. No, I do care about that. So anything under Outlaw Sector's data I'll grab. All the way down to the last weight. It's going to work. Of course it's going to work. Who am I kidding? Of course it's going to work. Let's go to... Let's go to our gameplay cost. And we'll get down here. What? Tank, a poodle. Outlaw Sector's data, there it is. And we took... Oh no, I closed it. Right.
Take two.
Try again. I will take everything up to base fleet capacity, I think.
Because that base fleet capacity, I assume, relates to the minor faction ship spawning.
I believe so. So there we go. This is technically in there now. I find your lack of squiggly booble disturbing, as you should. So, I'm scared. Are you scared? I'm scared. I suppose the first thing that we want to do is the Federation. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
They'll be down here somewhere at this point, yeah. Okay.
That's something of note. Is the because you've got the player info and you've got player tech loyalists.
Yes.
And you've got player federation.
Yes.
What's the difference between them?
Player tech loyalists are exclusively for the tutorial. The tutorial itself was so hard coded that we weren't allowed to have the file names as different.
Okay.
So what we actually had to do is we had to create a player tech loyalist faction and then replace its innards with all the Federation gumph.
Right.
So we could basically fake the tutorial. Okay, so we have
That's fair enough.
6 ship types that we can choose for the Federation. So
My thought process here actually was take ships from the Third Fleet pool.
okay,
So rather than your mainstay Federation ships, your Excelsiors, your Intrepids, you actually have the reserve fleet forces wandering around your space.
okay, Cheyenne, Melbourne, Challenger. Springfield. If this works first time, I'm going to be absolutely fucking flabbergasted.
Just cheer.
It's not going to work. There's just no way. The Niagara, do we want those? They're quite powerful, aren't they?
I mean, you can just make sure the weighting is 1, and bearing in mind that we've got to set the fleet supply limit as well, we can tailor the fleet supply limit in such a way that if it spawns a Niagara, it just spawns 1 Niagara. You don't get any of the extra vessels that are listed.
Okay, so there's the player Federation one.
Cool. It's a bit like how you can have Kodiak spawn or Destra Crusaders spawn, but if you do, you might get 1 light frigate with it, and that'd be it.
Is your wallpaper attached to the STA3 screenshots file or something to set to change? Yeah, I've created a specific folder with screenshots that I quite liked from STA3 or AOTF, and I've set that to be a rotating wallpaper, and it does it in all 3 of my screens.
Nice.
Which is exciting. I use the term exciting loosely. Right, Klingon next. Relatively basic ships, I suppose. Oopsie doodle. So I'm thinking we want the Brels in there. We can't not.
Yeah, of course.
Is it going to be Frigate Brel? Yes, look at that.
Excellent.
I think it might be nice to have K-32s as well, maybe?
Yeah. Some flak.
Maybe Katingas. How would you feel about Katingas occasionally?
I think that'd be fine. I was thinking maybe to coincide with the Niagara death rights.
I'll use the Raptor as well. I'm trying to go with the ones that you'd most likely to see on patrol. The Katinga. I think it would be cruiser. But no.
I think it might be support.
That would stand to reason. Fort Katinga. Very, very good. Look at you and your knowledge.
Knowledge. The Intrepids also support. I can't remember that being separate and for pretty much the same reason. Decloaking.
Don't really want Predators, I don't think, because they're now siege ships, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's not necessary.
And I don't think I want the D3 either because it produces fighters, and that's its own kettle of fish, which we're going to need to deal with later. Cavorts are too powerful. Having said that, this is the Shujbe, isn't it? The K long
Jugbear,
range.
yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't seem unreasonable.
I'm trying to think. I think the Springfield might be similar to the New Orleans, if I remember. So, yeah. So there's no real issue with a light artillery ship there, I don't think.
It lost in my folders. There we are. I think that'll do. 5 types.
Yeah.
There we are. And Romulan. Are you here? There you are. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do these players for the moment.
Okay.
And see if it works.
That's fair
So I'm
enough.
going to do the active players, see if it works.
Tell you what I will do for the moment. I'm just going to go through the ships you've added, note down their supply value.
And then we take the old Maxi Mini.
Yes. What did I do with my pad of post-it notes? There we go.
So what I'll do is I'll do Cardassian and Borg in here as well.
Yep.
Oh god, I've gone too far. Frigate Hawk. Yep, sounds fine.
Yeah, I was thinking Shrike, Orc.
Lenora,
Yeah,
because we've got the flak in there as well.
yeah. Heavy cruiser be just, the heavy defender, the older age Romulan ships.
What's the Shrike? Is it Corvette, perchance?
I think so. I know it is the
Shrike.
Corvette. Yeah. Wonderful.
Heavy cruiser. Which one did you?
Heavy defender.
Me? Yeah, it's old school. I love it.
Old school, exactly.
And we've already got 4, so maybe one more would be good.
Griffin.
Support. Feel free to chip in, by the way, folks. If you think there are specific ships types that should spawn. Okay, there we go. Random ship count 5. And then what we'll do is we'll grab this little tart. Oh look, we've got more down here. I can continue using these sausages. How nice. 5. Delete this one. And next is going to be Burning. Why don't you join my Discord? Some of the community there will help you now, hopefully, if they're about. And if they can't help you get it all sorted, then I will help you after the stream. This stream might be going on for a while. I should really be quite clear on that, because this is gonna this is gonna take some time. All right, player Cardassian.
I'm not just any Cardassian.
As soon as I say player Cardassian, I'm not just any Cardassian. Thank you very much for following the stream, but I do appreciate it. Okay.
So Cardassian.
Kessock hybrids, Ruffalo, sonar battleships.
Oh yes, obviously, and you know, with a max fleet ceiling of 500. Perfectly balanced, working as intended.
Just as they always were. What do you mean armor tanking?
Givo sets a weighting of 1. The Kessock heavy a weighting of 20. Gotta make sure you. Gotta make sure you have 1 or 2 Kessock heavies.
I don't think you know what working as intended means.
Oh dear.
Ooh. A conservator. Is the conservator something we've still got in game? It's the
know.
Hideki, isn't it?
I think so.
We were originally going to make something called the conservator, but we never got round to it. Maybe we just don't use it.
Sea icon Hideki. I think that is just the Hideki. Mesh name Hideki shield.
Sounds like a Hideki. Is it in the entity manifest? Is it in the player file? That's the one to check.
I will check. Player.
And I'll grab a support ship in the meantime.
Cardassia.
Cardassia. You've got to say it correctly.
Cardassia.
That's the one.
Sea Corvette Conservator.
Alright, good stuff. Norin or Tonga?
Tonga.
Tonga. I'll put that one there. And scroll back up. There it is. There. Got one more to choose.
I was thinking just galore. Set the weighting so that realistically we don't end up with more than 2. Is there a way to make sure that Outlaw Galore won't receive the refit once it's researched? Or is it on a separate metric?
It should be on a separate metric, but I think the only way that we'll know is by
to test. That's fine.
We've been playing a lot of Thrawn's Revenge 2 Ascendancy. Well balanced. Yeah. I do know the creator of that mod, yes. Yeah, I know Corey quite well. We're rather friendly. When he's not beating me up in computer games. Yeah, one thing that you'll find about the Sins modding community is we tend to be very, very close. I think we're a lot closer than most modding communities. I think that's probably fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I know Corey was certainly surprised by
how nice we all are to each other.
He received in the Sins community, yeah, certainly in comparison to the EAW modding community.
I mean, Corey is also probably the driest human being I've ever met. So I can never actually tell when he's joking. I just have to assume he is, and maybe that's the only reason that we're still friendly with one another. Maybe he's been serious this whole time, and I just don't know.
It's hard to tell.
5. Interceptor. Where's the Dodie? There it is.
You've got to have all of those angles.
Absolutely. Do we ever call that? Oh, the dart yet, of course. Cheeky dart. Cruiser-wise, we want to support cruiser, don't we? Whoa, gone too far.
Adapter or assimilator?
I think perhaps the adapter would be better.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If I remember, I think they both have a fleet supply value of 25, so it doesn't really matter which one you go for.
And we've got one more to fill. Pyramid?
Yeah, pyramid or sphere, I suppose. I suppose it doesn't really matter which. Either way, you're going to probably only have one of each.
Pyramid is marginally weaker, so we'll give it that one.
That's fair enough.
There it is. Done. Now, base fleet capacity is 30. Reasonable?
Yeah.
Oh no, we've got min and
Although,
max fleet
yeah.
points. Should we move all these to 30 and 40?
Just for testing purposes, yeah.
Maybe 20, maybe 25, 35.
Well, certainly for the Federation, I'd say 30 or 24 to 36.
You're so anal.
Yeah, it's because the Niagara and Melbourne are 30 fleet supply, the Springfield, Cheyenne, and Challenger are 6.
I'd like it to be uniform across them all, ideally.
Right. We can hope. I mean, we can take those same values. It's just the case of with the max fleet points at 36. If you do get a Niagara or Melbourne, you will at least get a Springfield, Cheyenne, or Challenger.
I'm going to go 24 to 36 for them all and just see what happens.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I don't even know if this is going to work yet. Done. But wait, there's more. Save that. Would you do me the honour of comparing difference? Thank you. Right. Connect the dots. Compare the difference.
Make it work.
Gravity well. Right here. Swing them down here. Grab this bit. Minor factions data. What's happening here? Thank you. Grab all of these. Swing them down to the bottom. Is it directly after Pirate Raid Scalar? Yes! How nice! i7 is more than powerful enough. In fact, an i5 is powerful enough. An i7 isn't necessarily the best for gaming. Now, people have got some strange ideas about why an i7 might be better than an i5, and more often than not, if they're just gaming, they're wrong. Simply put, yes, overall it is a more powerful processor, but because of the way it multi-threads, it's only going to be useful in some games. If you're hyper-threading, if you're multi-threading, yes, an i7 is going to be potentially better, depending on how the game handles it. However, if you're using a single thread, an i5 is often significantly more powerful and is better. So it's the single core and single thread usage that is going to be more interesting in 32-bit applications to you as a gamer. Sorry. so I'm going to delete all of this. I'm not going to blacklist anything, because it saves me having to do that. Let's see how we feel about that. Alright, get your crash helmet ready. Why are you looking unhappy there, Caesar?
Sorry?
Why are you doing sad face?
Oh, Tao's message. Donate to Goal and he will delete the latest version of STA3 from the internet and all PCs.
But if you want to donate to Go, I'll be delighted.
That's why I'm sad face.
Okay, so, I'm not saying I broke it, but I broke it. NPC icon. Oh, yes, okay. 1,000 and yeah. It appears I've missed something here that I should have. Did I not put that in? Well, what a silly sausage I am. If that's as bad as the errors get, we're in for a good time. I missed a bit here as well. Everything's fine.
It's not broken, I promise.
It might be broken. Right, let's quickly kill the process. Kill process. Gonna go for now. Alright, Burning. I may catch you later on in the Discord. Uh-oh.
If the mod's UI, that looks like it is a monitor resolution issue. What Burning said. Stay hydrated, Bob.
Ooh. Stupid. Oh, stay hydrated, but give me a bollocking for being live for 2 hours or something now.
Yeah, well, not so much bollocking, I just, saying that you should have consumed at least 8 ounces of water.
I have.
Excellent.
Yeah. Sadly, I've also consumed 12 ounces of salt.
Oh, blimey. Drinking seawater again, are you?
Those don't matter. What software do you guys use to create your models? I believe most of our modelers use 3ds Max. However, I think one of our modelers uses Blender? Okay, so it started up.
It's good. It's an improvement.
Morning, Ben. Okay. We are loading into a Mappuccino.
Now I want a cappuccino.
Oh, I could do with a latte.
Yeah.
Skinny latte, no sprinkles. I need my
Double
chai
chocolate.
latte maca chocolatino. I also identify as a panda. That one doesn't matter, that's fine. That one doesn't matter either, that's also fine. That wasn't a gayism. That was a hipsterism.
Goddamn hipsters. They get everywhere.
We cannot, Commander.
I cannot, Commander.
Okay.
My life for the Empire. My life for the Empire.
New planet detected.
My life for the Empire.
So that's provided it's 15 minutes. Your autosave is set to 15 minutes. That's 30 minutes of in-game time.
My
Yeah, but what are we not
for
seeing?
the Empire.
Outlaws. Let's plus maybe 5
For the Empire.
just so.
New planet detected.
My life for the Empire. My
Might
life
it be worth
for the Empire.
using the dev? Oh, are you actually in dev
My
mode?
life
Yes.
Yes, of course you are. Might be worth colonizing some of the surrounding planets to see if they spawn there.
Ah, yes. Lovely idea. Chain. Chain. Oh, God. Use optimizations. Ah. I've got all the research. It was an accident.
Oh my god, your,
New
your resources and
detected.
credits.
I've forgotten how to colonize
New
the planet.
detected.
Change entity.
Change entity?
We've located the enemy. We have successfully colonized.
Oh god, that's new. Kill all NPC stuff.
We have successfully colonized.
Ah.
Oh, militias.
They turned
Oh.
up, though.
That's good, yep.
They just crashed the game while they did it.
Well, I think I see the icon of a Lenora, so that's something. But yes, on the topic of hydration, I am actually going to go get a glass of water. So I'll be right back.
Do you think? Do I identify as a sassy valley girl? Yeah.
And I return.
Yes, I know it's a mini dump, you fucker. I apologise for my outburst. So close to working.
What's getting modded? Star Trek Armada 3.
Well, maybe I won't put it on 8 times speed this time, so I can keep an eye on what's going on. And we'll be the fence. We can see if it's defined by a specific race.
Hello, girl. It's me. Oh, good stuff. Well,
When I signed
Ooh,
the pact of
Viking, thank you very much
alliance
for
with the
subscribing, my
Dominion,
Oh, Tower's messaging me on. He's found a new channel like dot. Oh no.
I sent him one clip. And now he thinks I'm into watching meme compilations.
It's too late. It's happening. Pay attention to the Process Explorer here. Wait until this is loaded, then we'll make this smaller. Try and pay attention to the Process Explorer.
Is it possible to spawn an outlaw wave through the console?
What now?
The console commands. A bit like how you can spawn ships and events.
I want to say maybe.
Have a scour through the dev commands since they've been updated.
But unfortunately, one thing that it's not doing is it's not giving happening right now. Jibbity jabbity, which is only going to show me the errors if I'm loading.
Wonderful.
Excuse me, what's all this up here? No, I don't want that. Go away. I don't know. Oh god, I've given myself. Okay. What is this? Why are you here? No, stop it. All entities. What? What are you? What? Go away. Level of sausagery is this?
Don't.
There we go. All entities detected. Change entity.
Colonization was successful.
It's your constructor. Murder it.
Oh, it's just a save. Nobody shit yourselves.
It's not breaking.
Speed it up, I'm scared. Maybe I should colonize another planet. Last time.
Colonization was successful.
Twice the pride, double the fall. Twice the outlaws, double the clash.
This is par for the course for modding. Yeah, this is pretty standard. Ooh. Pirate raiders are preparing to launch. Come on, guys.
It happened just after the third autosave last time. Which makes me think that your autosaves might be set to every 5 minutes.
Enemy vessels detected.
What? Pirates. Why are pirates so fast? Maybe I should just turn autosaves off. Faster!
Faster. More back.
Twist camera, why? Oh, here we go.
Oh, there they are. Is that Niagara? Oh, Melbourne.
Single Melbourne. Over here.
Alert activated.
Alcibiades! I don't know why I got so excited about that. Alcibiades is a Greek philosopher. Anyway,
Oh, there they are. Cheyennes.
wasn't something I did wrong. Ooh-la, ooh-la, wasn't something I did wrong. Ooh-da-doo-da-day, ooh-da-doo-da-day, all-da-doo-da-day. Spawn in blood neutrals like a pong. Right, okay, quick game. And now guess what we're going to have to do? Sneeze. After that... Oh god, camera twist is on. Even Viking knows the pain. Let's go with Klingon next. Because it might... Yes, Klingon speed build, yeah. Faster, stronger, better, harder. Okay. Time for some more All the Doodah Day.
Pair ship for ludicrous speed.
Ship's always at ludicrous speed.
Oh my.
Another planet is ours.
Another planet is ours.
Another planet is ours.
Oh, what an awful spawn. Mind you, not so bad. Anyway. 8 times speed. Sorry. I'm feeling confident.
Full speed ahead.
Oh,
Can ignore that iceberg in the distance.
my noise has stopped. That's highly unfortunate. Hello, computer. Save 3. Alright, let's see if this crashes.
Our fleet has arrived.
Our fleet has arrived.
Enemy ships are on their way. We have spotted the enemy. Enemy ships are on their way. Be ready.
Oh.
Oh. Interesting. Wait, was that gone to?
Can't tell. Interesting that we're getting random mini dumps. Mind you, we haven't changed everything, have we? But that would indicate that it's not to do with the spawning.
Well, the first wave arrived fine without too much trouble.
Oh, it could be abilities triggering. I need coffee. I need coffee. It could be abilities triggering or not triggering, as the case may be. There's a lot of abilities that need changing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, probably about 100.
Oh, yay.
I know, right? Let's try the Rommies, because they were the problems last time. Do you keep the ships that spawn in as part of your fleet, or do they leave straight away? They stick around, but you can't control them. The Cheyenne is what we call the Biro Basher.
Biro Basher. Why?
Its nacelles are made out of 4 Biros.
Literally.
Yeah.
I assume this is for the physical model that was.
Yeah, the physical model, they used 4 marker pens in order to create the nacelles of the Cheyenne.
Oh my god.
The random bollocks that you know. Connected. Let's colonise the ever-living hump out of this. Change it. Is it J to colonise?
We have successfully colonized.
No, I think it might be abilities triggering.
Right.
What a horrible planet to spawn next to. Sona.
We've located the enemy.
So I think we need to slow the pirates down. They're just silly.
As in the spawn time, or how fast they're arriving at Gravity Wells?
Spawn. Oh, something was destroyed. How fast they are?
The ships themselves.
No. No, their spawn time. Excuse me. My apologies.
Their spawn time, right. That's fine.
We've located the enemy.
What are they set to at the moment? 15 minutes?
Our
10?
ships have arrived.
There we go.
Oh, and it hasn't crashed this time, so yeah, it's not spawning.
Okay, so my spawn rules are technically working. It's not that. I am invincible. There's your dump.
Yeah, I think that might. It's probably abilities.
Fuck.
That's an accurate description, I think.
That means a lot of work to do.
Well, you have fun with that.
Hey, we're here to help. Are you not?
I thought I was here for moral encouragement.
Now, there's another thing I wanted to check. So we'll open up again. We need to start a big old map. Or I could just check it in the... See, these... what I can do is, in the Process Explorer here,
Right.
because it's loading things, get lost, not know what I'm doing with it. Right, so, here we go. In this bottom file, Kessock Hybrid Summon. So there's a problem with that ability,
Okay.
which needs resolving. Doesn't like it, is angry. Kessock Heavy Summon. There's a problem with that ability. Doesn't like it either. Kessock Light Summon. Doesn't like that one. Okay, so all the summon ones.
Yeah.
Hey, where have you gone? Go back. Come here. Come here. Oh no. There are specific things it doesn't like with buffs. Oh, buffs that call on buffs. Doesn't like it.
Okay.
So we need to look at the way that they work. Possibly because it's something to do with autocast. Enemy check siege, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in the Klingon cloaks. See ability homeworld deploy Nor. Oh, the deploying abilities need to change as well. Because there's now a cost associated by level.
What do you mean by level?
By the level of the ability. So rather than just being a flat cost in credits, etc., it's level 1 will cost this many credits, level 2 will cost this many credits.
Right.
there's so much to do. Oh no. Skip all.
If I can't see the breakages, it's not broken.
Oh no. SDA3 working as intended.
Why, Blair? Why?
Damn.
Oh.
Single player. Large map. Yeah, random large single seems fine. Like a bit of everyone. No, not bloody random, you fool of a toque. Org. We're currently beta testing the Federation alarm.
Pretty much just sort of out for the whole mod beta testing just.
So I think when it comes to the abilities, can we start at opposite ends and just work until we're in the middle together at some point?
I guess.
Oh, actually, no, we can't do. We can't do that. No.
No. Okay.
We'll just have to do it in shifts. It'll be fine. Work the minus to death if you must. See, there it is again. Look! Look!
Oh yeah. That was a positive graph.
Look! I have an idea. I think it's no longer M Cap Husnock. I think it's probably M Cruiser Husnock now. Here's what we're gonna do.
Possibly.
Find in files. This one. Get rid of that. Yes, this one. Find all. The update ellipse, yeah. Do you know what? This would be a lot easier if we bloody didn't make so many piss-flapping unique... the file is too big to be opened by Notepad. So if we didn't make so many unique abilities, this would be a whole lot easier. So what I'll do is I'll look for the entity ref mcap husnock. I don't understand why it's got an underscore C.
Don't know.
I think that's a typo.
I know the Husnock are a militia force.
They are. This is something that's wrong in the GSD specifically. Which angers me because the GSD is the easiest thing to break. You tickle it with a feather and it just goes absolutely bonkers and you'll never be able to play again. Oh, you wanted to play Sins, did you? No. That's what the GSD does.
Yeah. Oh god, there's so much here.
You might want to get Process Explorer.
Honestly. Such a horrific design.
Talking about Fallout 76.
No, the GSD, but Fallout 76 kind of covers it as well. Right. So there's planet items template Husnock heavy, buff conduit, owner Husnock items, Husnock cap warship, or TFF Husnock cap warship. Okay.
Grozot says, "Alright, looks like you're going to be busy. We'll play games with you after Easter."
God.
Nah, we'll get a lot of it done today. Probably not all of it. What's up, Brian? How you going? Now, the thing that I wanted to actually check in loading up this map is if players are associated with the militia. But I suppose I could have simply checked that in the GSD. But I'm scared that even looking at the GSD is going to make the game crash irrevocably.
accidentally not even pressing anything, but somehow it changing the GSD.
I swear to God, Sins knows if you've looked at the GSD.
The GSD is Sins' sort of private areas. It's like, I know you've touched me there.
It really is. Show me on the dolly where you never get to play games again. Oh. We're working our way through now. We're getting there. Still doing my cheeky search. Should probably have only searched the game info folder, really. But I'm stupid, so it's fine.
That could have been worthwhile, yeah. So yeah, the MCAP Husnock C is definitely a frigate. There's actually two of them. One is a capital ship. That's MCAP Husnock warship. And that's got the capital ship.
Okay, so there is MCAP Husnock C in the Entity Manifest. It's also in the Galaxy Scenario Def. Excuse me, what line? Thank you. Why haven't you put me at the correct line? Why do you hate me so much?
Because it does.
Why don't you like that? Missing player index. So where do you show up? Okay, alright. So we control F. Find next. Oh, bloody hell, there's loads of them. Owner Husnock. I have a feeling I know what's going on here. There's no Husnock player index.
So as in player.
There isn't a player file.
No, there is.
So just as an example, pirate here. If I was to control, do that, go find next. We've got to play a pirate.
Yeah.
And their entity def name. And because there's no player Husnock, which somebody, me, deleted about 8 months ago from the bloody files. Fine, fine.
It now hates it.
Fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody worry, I'm changing it. There, see, it's done. Next.
You don't need a player Husnock actual entity file.
Oh no, I do need to do that.
You do need to do that. Okay.
Ben Harding has said, watching people mod is like looking under the bonnet of a supercar and finding there's a hamster in a wheel. I'll remember this.
I mean, certainly that's true for me. I don't have a clue what's going on. I'm looking on. I'm trying to learn.
There you go. Player Husnock. How'd you feel about that?
What's actually in there, though?
Doesn't matter what's in there. The fact that it exists is enough.
Is it? Okay.
I think.
Let's hope.
Alright, so, we've got Player Husnock, but do you know what we haven't got?
I don't know.
Player Husnock in the Entity Manifest.
Okay. Is that something you're going to add, I take?
I'd leave it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Kill the process.
Kill it. Full Palpatine, die.
Yes, don't care about you. You come later. There's going to be so many abilities that need changing. I can't even stress how many abilities need changing. Did I mention there are going to be some abilities that need changing?
I think you might have mentioned it once or twice.
Fucking hell. Honestly, this new DLC, it's like being invited to a party, being told that there'd be hookers and booze, and finding out that there's only a crazy cat lady in Skull.
It's quite the analogy.
Maybe we'll actually see some Husnock ships spawning. Now. You notice how they were never spawning? I think this is the reason.
Quite possibly.
Yes, no one cares about that one. That one. I don't have time to Hellion Viking. I've got 3,000 years worth of modding ahead of me.
So you testing to see if the Husnock appear?
Well, I don't really care if they do or not. We might have a planet that's defined for them. I thought it was like horrible, icky planets.
I'm honestly not sure.
Do you know what we never see either? Idril. We should probably try and fix that.
Idril?
Yeah.
They're a thing.
They're a thing.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, we should play with this before the next release.
The Federation sends its best.
Because we're actually missing several different types of local militia, I think.
Okay. What would be the best way to actually check where all the militia that theoretically should be spawning?
In the GSD.
GSD.
Yeah, okay, so conspicuously absent are the Herodian vessels and the... Would you mind writing this down because I'll forget?
Klingon Empire
Herodian.
recognizes your prowess.
Idril.
Fucking pen. How do you spell Idril? Is it like as it says, it's an
IDRYLL, I suspect.
Oh, okay. That spelling actually looks a bit more familiar.
They're the
Yes, there we go.
they're the purple. They've got purple bits. I'm afraid that's all I know.
The spelling fits better now. Right. So Herodian, Idril.
And indeed the Husnock. As far as I can tell, they haven't spawned
Husnock.
anywhere on this map, and it seems a shame to have them in the files, and
Not have.
yeah, not have them present. Darmok, there's no problem there. Plenty of Kessock. Maybe we change some of the planets away from Kessock.
Yeah.
Well, I think, from what I remember, the Husnock are quite tough. Idril
Our people have a proposition.
Shut up, me! Sorry. Armada there. Eshkars are fine. Satonic simulators, plenty of those. I imagine that they were these were primarily associated with planet types. Oh no, that we've removed,
Yeah, quite probably.
and as such, they're not represented in the final spawn listings.
That would make sense. And then it would also make sense why they appear in TFF.
Would. So we'll have a piddle with that. That'll be nice. But otherwise, I think we're okay. I'll start another match, just to be sure. But typically, on a Vast, you're going to get all of the spawn rules. Or
Yeah.
huge. Vast will probably crash the game because it's so big. Let's do it.
Brilliant!
Marvellous! Oh. Well, what's wrong with it now? I fixed it, you sausage!
Maybe it's trying to spawn.
Oh. Have we got something potentially in the... Okay, alright, this is going to take more. Do we have a Protostellar Nebula still? I don't think we do.
I don't think so.
It's the bloody Protostellar Nebula. It's in the spawn rules, but we don't have it.
Right. So that's causing problems.
Suspect so.
TFF, Nebula. Well, it appears in the game files.
Class M Ancient.
No. Unless TFF.
It is a TFF planet type.
Type in Class M and you get large, small, jungle, mountainous. But that being said, I think TFF planet types have a different listing.
Yeah, TFF underscore Nebula underscore Protostella is in there.
Yeah. There it is, Class M Ancient. Doesn't have the underscore between the class and the letter M.
So what is it I need to change? Hopefully you can see on my screen. That's the Class M
Yeah.
Ancient.
I mean, the spelling looks fine.
Okay. Is it in the spawn rules?
How would you check that?
Oh, mind you, if it's in here, it can spawn. It's in the entity manifest, this TFF underscore planet underscore Class M Ancient. Yeah, it's in the lush planet type, spawn weights.
Right.
And the CTA random tier 3.
Okay.
Random Nebula it's also in. It's also in CTA Random All Tiers. So Protostella Nebula is also there.
Yeah. File for it is in the game info folder, so.
In the manifest.
Entity. Was looking right. Let's see this one.
There may not be a
Entity
planet.
name, mability protostella.entity. So the protostella is there in the entity manifest. Class M ancient as well.
This is odd. Got an orbit body type. Fine. I don't think we've got a planet body type for the Protostellar Nebula.
Would that be the problem?
I think it might be.
The nebulas need, or do all planet types need a planet type assigned to them then,
Yeah.
including the nebulas?
Let's just try Nebula. So, got the orbit body types, no problem there.
What's the difference between the orbit body type and the planet body type?
The planet type is the planet itself, the orbit body type is what circles around it.
Oh, okay, so the planet type is the bit right in the middle of the gravity well that you can select on.
Yeah.
And then the planet body type is what is around that.
Cerulean Nebula.
Phase it.
Yeah. I don't think that there is a planet body type for it. So here's your orbit body type.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then if I continue to search for nebulas, we go up all the orbit body types, of which there are many. And then we get these.
Right.
So I think what I need to do
Let's add in another planet type.
is add one here. Yeah! Why can't we have some meats?
You, that Lord of the Rings.
Might be.
What about their legs? They don't need those.
Pop that in there. And knowing what we know BFF Nebula Protostellar. I bet this doesn't bloody help at all. Now the design name, I suspect, also needs to be the same in this instance. Might not go well for me. We're trying to remember what line we were on.
One 139.
Dean went, oops, I don't think so, Bruce.
Yeah, the YouTube stream has gone.
Well, that's
Twitch
odd.
is fine.
What if I refresh it?
Either that or YouTube is dead, I can't tell which.
Yeah. There you go, I've just started it again, we'll see what happens.